Hello everyone, this is Edray1416 here with another episode of Internet Pioneers. Inspired by Mr. Mediker's Internet Insanity, this series talks about the people on the internet that were innovative in terms of entertainment, information, etc. Today's person in question is James Rolfe, a pioneer of angry game reviews in the visual sense. Now I've talked about Sean Baby starting it all, but James Rolfe did video reviews first, so that counts as pioneering. The Angry Video Game Nerd was originally conceived in 2004 as a joke for a review of James Rolfe's friends, but it quickly evolved in 2006 during YouTube's independent era. But to understand James Rolfe and his entity known as Cinemassacre, let's go back to the beginning. James Duncan Rolfe was born on July 10, 1980 in Penns Grove, New Jersey, a town east of Wilmington, Delaware. During his childhood, he grew up on games for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Thus was the inspiration for what was originally known as the Angry Nintendo Nerd in 2004. Prior to James Rolfe's innovation of the Angry Video Game Nerd, Rolfe created the entity of Cinemassacre as a way to review underrated, rare, and awful movies. This would carry James Rolfe forward to the University of Arts in Philadelphia, in which he obtained a degree in cinematography. James Rolfe created the Angry Nintendo Nerd in 2004 with Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. These first two reviews were originally joke videos that was put on VHS. But then in 2006, Mike Matei discovered YouTube and convinced James to upload his first two videos on the site, gaining James' immediate attention. Now we'll talk about Mike Matei and his share of contributions to the James Nintendo Nerd channel in a moment. But for now, it is true that Mike Matei created the channel and is still in charge of the James Nintendo Nerd channel today. Throughout the next several months, the Angry Video Game Nerd reviewed many games that had frustrating controls, infuriating gameplay, boring stories, etc. One of the most popular reviews of the AVGN back in 2006 was his review on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. While I personally enjoyed the original Ninja Turtles on the NES, I could see why the AVGN would hate it so much. But 2006 was not without controversy for the AVGN. One of those controversies being Wally Bear and the No Gang. Longtime fans of Sean Baby accused AVGN of plagiarizing Sean Baby's article on the subject. Eventually the criticisms died down, but this accusation was a huge deal. But with criticisms also comes praise. James Rolfe got so much praise for pioneering angry game reviews in video format that the era of angry game reviews started. People like Armake21, Spoony1, Jedi1, and Urinating Tree imitated Angry Video Game Nerd. Armake21 being the closest to rivaling the AVGN with a genuinely hot temper. So that was a great variation. AVGN was almost untouchable until the summer of 2007 when the blatant imitator named the Irate Gamer plagiarized him to a T. This caused the gaming community to be in an uproar because AVGN, Armake21, Spoony1, and many other game reviewers worked hard to earn their fans. Then the Irate Gamer gets featured for one particular video, causing the AVGN fans and others to panic. Even though James Rolfe never called out Chris Boris publicly, it would have been interesting to see how these two would have settled the issues of how angry game reviews should work. In spite of AVGN's fans being angry at Chris Boris for blatantly stealing, the AVGN stayed focused on uploading reviews. Everything was fine until 2011 when James Rolfe created an Indiegogo campaign for his fans to donate to him to make Angry Video Game Nerd the movie. Longtime fans of the AVGN were pissed because AVGN was making a lot of money through ad traffic on his website Cinemassacre.com, his YouTube partnership, and his deals with Screw Attack. People like the Archfiend, Ace Salieri, and numerous longtime fans of the AVGN addressed how disrespectful it was to take the fans' money. And this is not the last major criticism that James Rolfe received, as during his time filming, Mike Matei completely took over the James Nintendo Nerd channel. This was serious because Mike Matei got tremendous flack for some of his videos, the biggest flack being on Elmo and Grouchland. 2011 was perhaps James Rolfe's worst year. Ace Salieri also pointed out that James Rolfe charged $15 a ticket to see a trailer of the AVGN movie. That was pretty much when most of the longtime viewers stopped watching his videos. This also could have signaled the end of the angry game review era as the Let's Play era became the hottest trend on YouTube. After 3 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars from fan donations, Angry Video Game Nerd the movie finally got released on DVD. Unsurprisingly, the movie wasn't very great. Even loyal fans of the AVGN called the movie mediocre, and it was used to build up the ET review for the Atari 2600. Due to the failure of the AVGN movie, James Rolfe and Mike Matei agreed to upload the ET review on the James Nintendo Nerd channel on October 10th, 2014. After a while, I stopped watching the Angry Video Game Nerd. It's not to say that James Rolfe has become boring, it's just that the E.T. review in my mind was the end of the Angry Video Game Nerd. However, the loyal fans of the AVGN continue to get reviews even unto this day. James Rolfe is like the Bob Barker of Angry Game Reviews. He may not stop doing reviews until the 35th anniversary of Cinemassacre. The day James Rolfe announces the retirement of the AVGN will be the day Angry Game Reviews are officially dead. Now, aside from the Angry Video Game Nerd, what has James Rolfe done to keep the James Nintendo Nerd channel fresh and relevant on YouTube today? Board James, a series in which James reviews board games from the past and present. James and Mike Mondays, a series in which James Rolfe and Mike Matei review a random game in a laid-back style. You Know What's Bullshit? A series in which James talks about stuff that he finds to be complete nonsense. You see, James Rolfe diversified his channel to build a fresh audience that may not like the Angry Video Game Nerd. Very smart of James Rolfe to do so. Even though James Rolfe is not the greatest internet celebrity of all time, he laid the foundation for gaming on YouTube and entertained people since the golden era of the site. Even though James Rolfe has a huge following, multiple sponsors, and people that cared about him genuinely, he weathered the storms of controversy to become a recognized figure on the internet. And that is why James Rolfe is an internet pioneer. Anyway, I'm Edray, and I'm out of here.